Hey YouTube, Morgan here and welcome back to my kitchen. It's been about a week and a half since I started my low carb diet. It's been very hard. I'm very hungry a lot and I'm starting to run out of food to eat that I haven't had before. I'm eating a lot of apples and peanut butter, cheese, bacon and eggs, things like that. But my sister sent me a recipe for a low carb. It's actually, I think, even keto blueberry muffin recipe, so I'm gonna be making that today. I got blueberries at the store last week. I want to make sure that those don't go bad in my fridge. So I've already got my oven preheated to 350. I've got my muffin tin lined with parchment paper liners. Apparently this will make about 12 muffins, so hopefully they last me more than a few days. And I need to make some more of those peanut butter bites. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description below. But those have been a lifesaver for me. I did not have any of those this morning because I'm already out. So I'm switching things up a little bit to make these muffins, and they should go pretty quick. To mix everything together probably will be about 5 or 10 minutes, and then they bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. So let's go ahead and get everything set up and we'll get started. For this recipe, we're gonna need 2.5 cups of almond flour, half a cup of, I used sugar. The recipe says monk fruit allulose blend. I'm not sure what that is, so I just used regular sugar. The math worked out fine. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of unsweetened almond milk. I just used regular milk. 3 large eggs, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3/4 of a cup of blueberries, and 1/3 of a cup of coconut oil. I used melted butter. So the rest of this is going to be super simple. I'm just getting my ingredients measured out here, and notice I'm breaking up the clumps to make sure I'm not getting way too much, because when your dry ingredients are clumped up like this, you tend to get more in volume than if you were to sift it or something like that. So I'm making sure that my almond flour is nice and broken up, because this bag was pretty clumpy. By the way, if you've never used almond flour before, oh my gosh, just the smell of the flour is so good. If it wasn't so expensive, I would probably want to switch to this all the time. One thing to note though, I think that my aunt told me this, who is gluten-free. She made the note that almond flour tends to produce denser baked goods, and that might be the case, but I didn't really have a problem with the consistency or the texture of these muffins. I thought they were really awesome, and my husband actually helped me finish them off. He had more than I did, and they really only lasted a few days. Anytime you're doing baked goods, you want to make sure you mix the dry ingredients really well before you start adding the wet ingredients, just to make sure that you're not over mixing when you get the wet ingredients added. Here I am adding the butter and the milk, and I'm getting that well mixed together before I add any of the eggs. Luckily with almond flour, you don't have the risk of too much gluten production, so I'm not really worried about these becoming tough or anything like that. Can't forget that vanilla, such a great source of flavor. And I'm just going to go ahead and add all of these eggs in together before I mix them. Some recipes say to add the eggs one at a time, but I don't think this recipe is specified, so I'm just tossing them all in here and getting it mixed. Blueberries are the last step, and I forgot to reserve some for the top, so I actually do rinse off some more blueberries after I get everything dished out. The recipe said to expect about 12 muffins from this recipe, but I filled them up a little bit less than the recipe recommended, and I actually got 15 out of these, so I was really happy about that. I am going to make these again. I've been having plans to do that and making strawberry banana instead of blueberry, because I'm out of blueberries now, but the recipe has some really great substitution ideas if you want to use different fruit, or for example, I used butter instead of coconut oil. If you want to use a different flour, they've got options for that as well. So I would highly recommend trying out this recipe if you are in the mood for some low carb muffins. One thing I would recommend, I'm pretty sure this is listed in the recipe, is to use non-stick muffin liners, which I have here. They're actually made out of parchment paper, but that just really helps you get the full muffin and not just half a muffin, because some of it stuck to the wrapper. And these are my rinsed blueberries that I got back out of the box to top with the muffins, and I really was happy with the presentation of how these baked up. Don't those look absolutely beautiful? They're nice and golden brown. The toothpick test came back perfect. It smells so good in here, you guys. I was a little bit worried I was going to overcook these because I was kind of starting to smell the browning around the edges, but they look perfect. The toothpick came out great. I'm going to let these cool for a few minutes before I try one, but I am super excited. They smell so good, and I think they're going to be really great. I was hoping to have something ready for breakfast for my husband tomorrow because he has to chop up a few branches that we lost thanks to the drought, and I think hopefully these turned out well. I think they did. I will let you know as soon as I get this edited. Let me know what you think about this video. If you've got any suggestions or even recommendations for a low carb diet, I would really appreciate that. I will definitely film it and let y'all know what I think. That's actually the timer for the muffins. I love to hear from you guys, so leave me a comment down in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you know of anybody that would benefit from these low carb meals that I'm making, and I'll probably be making for a little while longer, feel free to share my channel with them. I'll be coming out with some new videos every week. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe so you do know when those videos are coming out. And I hope to see you around next time. Bye guys.